Welcome back to Live Inside the Booth. Thanks for joining us. Got a pretty good show we're going to talk about tonight. Going to talk about a variety of topics, obviously. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since been inside the booth, but it's on and popping again right now. We're back to doing it live several times a week. We're going to get visitors in, and we're going to talk about a lot of things inside the booth, right? Tonight, as we talked about before, earlier during the week, been a lot of different things on Twitter with people talking about the state of basketball. I put some things out, obviously, that kind of started a lot of dialogue as well, which I said is what's wrong with Houston basketball. But obviously, it's not just Houston basketball. A lot of people feel like they said it happens all over the country. What's going on? Is it a positive thing in certain aspects, and is it a negative thing in certain aspects? One thing that I like to say about me in general, I'm a person that I don't really like to blame kids a whole lot. Now, they do have some things that go along with it. They do have some type of fault in it, but most of the time, kids are the product of the environment. They absorb what they are around the most. And if you let them get away with things, then they're gonna kind of move it like that. For those that tuning in right now, my name is Marland Lowe. I'm the host of Inside the Booth. We got Dre McDonald and Jeff Mitchell going to be joining us tonight. That's going to be talking about a lot of different things, right? As far as what's happening, what's going on. And y'all got to excuse me as I put everything in play here. But we're going to be talking about the state of basketball just in general. If you have some feedback on your own and some things that you want to talk about, I'm going to be I'm going to drop a link. I'm going to drop a link inside of there, inside the chat room here, and feel free that you can come on and discuss as well. That's one thing I like to say. I will drop a link, come on inside, let's talk a little bit about it. But it's just about basketball. We got to get a chance to share our thoughts and get some good feedback. I need to get some ladies up in here as well, because ladies, they got experiences as well. And it's not just a one-way street, not a two-way street. It's got to be a two-way street where everybody's sharing their thoughts and feelings on it. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Dre and Jeff into inside the booth so we can talk a little bit. All right?
1994 NBA Finals.
1994 NBA Finals. We ain't talking about that right now. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's happening? Listen, man. I just bought in a little introduction, talked about what we're gonna be talking about, which basically, as I said, I dropped on Twitter last week, and we've always been dropping different things on Twitter ourselves about just basketball, the pros, the cons, the highs, the lows. And somebody said the other day was about what's wrong with the state of basketball in Houston. And somebody said, well, what is it? Is anything wrong with it? And a lot of different things came off, But before we get ready to go, Jeff, why don't you take a second, introduce yourself, let people know who you are, so when they're talking, they might not just think that you're just somebody that just picked up a ball yesterday.
I'm Jeff Mitchell. I had the opportunity to coach a couple groups of kids. I worked with the defenders a little bit. Last year, worked with Greg Brown and Team Faith, had a pretty good group of kids. Trained a couple kids, still help a couple kids, got quite a few kids to college. So, I know a little bit, did a little bit, been around for a second.
All right. That's what's up. Dre, tell us a little bit about your background. When do y'all got to turn that down? Tell us a bit about your background, Dre. What you been doing? How long you been with Summer Ball, and what you doing now?
My name is Dre McDonald. Last year I worked with Team Faith. Me and Jeff I believe we spearheaded it a little bit. Going through the lower ranks. I came from, the elementary, the middle school, and then I went to the high school, got an opportunity to jump in the high school game and learn. I've been around summer basketball since I was playing, so pretty cool. Got a couple family members in the pros, so you just learn.
There it is. So we can jump right into it. I put it out there the other day that I think that, matter of fact, I don't have a problem. I'll go in and I'll kind of read the tweet that I put out earlier today, and I just kind of said that as far as this platform is concerned about talking about tonight, and I said youth basketball, is there a problem with it? You know, is there a problem with it? Period. Like, we can just stop right there on that question right there. Do y'all think it's a problem with youth basketball right now, particularly for summer basketball?
Yeah. Yeah, and Houston, I mean, and I live in DC. You see, I got a Texas flag in the background. I don't even live in the city no more, man. So, you know, I gotta rep it the best I can. But here's one thing I noticed now that I've been gone. It's a whole lot of like ass kissing going on. People telling these kids they're a lot better than what they really are, and it's hurting them. Honestly, it is, and that's kind of the tip of the iceberg. People telling children, you're a pro, you're a college kid, you're a high major kid. And the truth is, man, they're not. It just ain't.
Where do you think they're getting that from?
Oh, adults are telling them that. It's grown men chasing these kids around, telling them how great they are, and they're not great. They're not great yet. Let me say that. They may have the potential to be great, but they're not great yet.
So that's a part of it right there, as far as grown folks pushing some kids, trying to make them feel like they're better than what they really are right now. Does that kind of, you agree with that, Dre? I mean, you was along those same pages?
I think we all kind of talk about it here and there on Twitter a lot. And then even in private conversations, I think I agree with Jeff with everything he said. And I also feel like everybody want to get something out of it. Like, if they help somebody, they expect something in return. And, you know, I just think that a lot of times that people forget why they really did it. And so it goes south from there.
What you mean by wanting something in return?
Like, if I scratch your, like, if you got Texas Pro still, and I say, hey, Lowe, not that you do this, but hey, Lowe, let me jump in the high school part. Well, all right, well, somebody gonna say, well, why is he there, or something like that. And then so now I gotta give you something for letting you help me out, you know.
No, I got you. I get that. So, but collectively and generally, like overall, like where are we failing the kids at? Are we failing the kids? And if so, like where are we really failing them at?
All right, now let me ask you this, because you got a son, and your son a little older than mine. Now, here's another issue. When you take your son to the gym, what do you do? Just just real brief and detailed, because I mean, on my end, it's super fundamental. It's a whole lot of catch and shoot. And here's the truth of the matter. This past summer, I've been able to go to some pre-draft workouts. I've been able to see how college kids get ready to prepare for the pros, what general managers do in their workouts. And then you look at what these guys are doing with kids in Houston, and that shit ain't the same. It's not the same. So if I see a kid doing like spot shooting, lifting fade drills for 20 minutes, spot shooting for 20 minutes, why am I watching kids doing in and out crossover behind step backs in workouts? If Danny Ainge don't have his guys doing it in pre-draft, why we got trainers doing that shit?
Why is that?
That in itself is a huge problem.
Right. No, it is. I get that. That's the bells and whistles that they try to throw in on that. That's the bells and whistles.
Yeah, but you got parents paying $40 an hour for some shit that don't work, right?
With 25 people in the gym.
But 20, you're right, Dre. But do the parents know? Do the parents know that? Do they not know what they're supposed to be looking for? You know what I mean?
They better ask. They better find somebody. I mean, the crazy thing is the world is small. They could tweet you. You got your DMs open. And how many parents come to you and say, hey, Marland, what do you do with your son?
Not very many.
Yeah, there you go.
Not really.
I got a list of parents. I tell people all the time, Carlos Evans, and Carlos may kill me, but he called me. You know, Carlos had 4 Division I kids in his house. 3 different sports.
Right.
Who called Carlos? I bet nobody calling him.
Man, I'm with that. I get that.
How many kids you work with? People not calling you, hey, look, Lowe, give me the workout, man. Like, give me the workout. You'll give it to them?
Yeah. I would. I actually, I feel like me personally, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. You know,
Right.
This is my lane. I enjoy it. So I enjoy it.
But people scared to ask for advice, and I think that's a big hindrance in our community, in Houston at least, that like I learned a lot from Jeff just by talking to him and asking him questions. Lowe, you've been around me. I've asked you a lot of questions before. Like people are afraid to ask questions because they're afraid to get no. I don't want to help you. And you know, a lot of times you can't be afraid to go ask, because if you don't know the knowledge, you'll never gain nothing.
Right, but isn't that also true that as a parent, they probably putting them in your hands because you somebody probably recruited their kid. So they're like, okay, well, if you're asking for my child, I'm under the assumption right away that obviously you know what you're doing. So therefore, I might not know what to ask. You're the one that's telling me that you think my child can play. Isn't that how it all starts out from the beginning?
Yeah, but you can't trust everybody. I mean, let's be honest. There's a whole lot of dudes that's in it for, you know, they may be in it trying to get clout. They may be in it for the money. You know, you got to look at track records. And then you also got to get, I mean, I tell you what, before you have surgery, you get multiple opinions. So you value your shoulder more than you value your child. So if you get 2 opinions on your collarbone, why wouldn't you get 2 or 3 opinions on your child? You know, and that kind of kills people. And a lot of parents, they just want to hear how great their kid is. You know what? Chances are that kid ain't great. They ain't working hard enough to be great.
Man, it's hard to be good.
Yeah, it's hard to be average.
Yep.
That's right. It is. It's hard to be average, especially in this kind of in this environment that we got going on right now. So, what's the main reason? One of the main reasons that I hear going on a lot on Twitter is the fact that parents might be upset that their kid is not getting a lot of playing time. That's one of the things. Some parents might be upset because one kid is shooting the ball too much. Another person might be afraid that these people, they aren't playing the right way. We started talking about fundamentals the other day. Fundamentals is a broad thing right now, because I think there are levels to fundamentals. I think, you know, at the beginning stages when you're young, you got a certain amount of you got to teach what pivots and this and that and that. So how is it that many of the guys in the game that's coaching now, they don't know what a fundamental is? What do we do about that? I mean, tell me where that come from.
On the high school level?
At any of the levels, yeah.
So let's look at high school. All right, now, it's because we've all been around it. You know, you more so than me, but think about this. I know this. If you're a 6'4" kid that can make open shots and defend, are you a college basketball player?
6'4" can hit open shots and defend. Yeah.
With some athleticism.
Oh, yeah. No. Skip that. I'm just saying fundamentally, we're not going to get to the gifts. Let's look at the fundamentals, right? Like, you know, one thing I learned, and I heard this term, like you got to master your controllables. So you can control being in shape. You can control being strong. You can control how well you shoot. These are all controllables. Mm-hmm. So I can name Xavier Wheeler, prime example. He mastered every one of his controllables, every single one.
Yep.
Mastered them.
Okay.
Mastered them. And you got a kid like Greg Brown who's born gifted, right? Like he's born different. And he busts his ass to master his controllables. And from Xavier Wheeler, who's 5'9", to Greg Brown, who's 6'9", those kids busted their ass to master their controllables and master those fundamentals. And I'm almost positive both of them will make some money playing basketball. I'm almost certain they will. You know, so fundamentally, like it doesn't matter whether you're 5'9" or 6'9", you still need the same fundamentals. These kids don't have fundamentals. They don't make open shots. They don't defend. They don't make reads. And they don't master their controllables. But they want to go to Duke. That's tough.
I get that. But again, it kind of goes back though, like I said earlier, kids absorb what they're around the most.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And as everybody does, you absorb whatever and whoever you're around the most. But so a kid doesn't know what they're supposed to be working on. So is it the fact that do we find a way to eliminate certain guys from coaching? Do you sit back and you try to educate parents? Why don't parents listen when one person tries to educate them? That's a question, because we've all had a parent before that or a guardian or somebody that we've tried to educate before and kind of talk to about it. Why is it that they might not listen in certain aspects if we feel like we're trying to give them the best advice? What you think, Dre?
I just think like they get caught up into my child is this already. Prime example, me and you talked about this, and I'm not gonna say the kid name, but at the EYBL, you went out there and played with four, trying to teach the kid the right way how to play. And you also said that you had a kid on the bench who was listening to you as you was coaching the other kids. Well, a lot of people are blind to that, to the vision of what's really going on in the game. They just care about only one thing and write-ups and different things like that. So that's all they care about, the shine, the glamour of it all. It's not, they don't want the ugly of it. And I think that's where we all, just everybody in general, kind of fall off.
What you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think that's true. Do you listen to somebody tell you how great your son is?
No.
Me neither. And you know what? Because you know, I mean, your guy just signed 3 years last night. Congratulations, by the way. But your guy just signed 3 years. Is your son ready to sign that same deal? Nah. Until then, you gotta work, bro. Like you gotta work.
Right.
And some people think, Marland Lowe said my son is pretty good, so we made it. We can quit working. They like hearing, and I know you ain't doing that, but you get my point. Like, look, I got to write up. I got a couple tweets. I got a video. Man, we on now. Well, nah, man. Nah.
Right.
They think they made it.
And I mess with Jeff about this all the time because my cousin, he a pro overseas. And to me, D'Angelo Harrison. So he was a chubby kid to me all our life. And he had to work. Like, you don't get to be number 3 all time at St. John's in scoring. And they got pros, first round draft picks over the Hall of Famers. Number 1 all time in 3-point makes. You got to work. And I saw him work from chubby to his body changing and becoming maturing. And now he over there making real money. So, and he ain't even in the NBA.
Right. I think throwing some things out there, and we can kind of just expand a little bit off of this. I'll throw out some quick thoughts off the top of my head. And if any of y'all watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe and hit that thumbs up. But I look at it like this. The primary objective is this. If I'm going after to talk to a parent, the first thing I'm trying to do is I can see a parent, not just me, but I'm just thinking how people do this. I'm going to see a parent that probably doesn't know anything about this game. And when I approach him or her, in particular, your hope is that it's a her that you can approach, because you're going to try to treat it like it's a courtship. You tell her something good about her child. Right. Because that's her baby. And then that's the hook. That's the hook. You know what I'm saying? You got the bait in, and you start telling about her child or whomever, and you tell them about what you can do. You start talking about who you are, what you can do, your past history and everything else, whatever you're trying to do. And it's just to entice her and to bring them in and get them a little bit closer. So you reel them in. And everybody knows that the lie sounds so much better than the truth. So many times as you try to approach these women and even these dads, you're telling them exactly what they want to hear. And when you tell them what they want to hear, it just kind of melts you. It makes you feel good. Like, this guy sees the same thing that I see about my child, you know?
Right.
When you got them to that point right there, it's almost like it's a hook, line, and sinker. Because and one thing that they don't do, which we don't have a history of, is parents going out and taking the time to research whatever you said. Why don't parents research the people who are trying to communicate and be involved with their child? That's the question right there. Why don't they research?
So let me ask you this, because I know I do it. If I'm talking to a parent, you know, the first thing I tell them, hey, look, we're going to have a workout, right? But hey, come check us out. You may want to go check Lowe out. Go check Aaron out. Go check Rod. Go check everybody out and see what it is that they're doing. See who else they got in there and see who you like. Because let me tell you something. Don't commit to me on the first day. If you commit to me on the first day, I get a little nervous. Well, shit, maybe you had a hell of a day. You could be sorry as hell, but you just had a great night. You know, but that's one of the things, and I'm sure you the same way, man. You watch a kid a couple times, you talk to the parents a couple times and try to get a feel for the situation. And yeah, you're going to tell them you like that kid. Sure, you like something about them, but that don't mean you're going to kiss their ass and make them not work either. I mean, there's the difference. Like what's happening now, I think, is these guys are kissing these kids' asses, kissing these parents' asses, and they telling them how great their kids are, and they treating them like they're great because they scared they're going to leave the program. Well, you know what? I could get 3, 4, 5 kids, and you know, me and Jawan were laughing at this the other day. We would try to make you quit. Like, please quit. We dare you. You know, and if you can stick it out, you'll turn into a decent player. Just my opinion.
It's not a bad opinion. I get that. But Dre, they not willing to. Why? Many of them aren't willing to stick it out. Why aren't they willing to stick it out?
Because we all know, like I was telling my homeboy this the other day, just as quick as a kid be on your team, they could go play for somebody else. And if they don't agree with what you got to say, hey, your son not that good right now. Well, somebody else is telling them that they are. So let's go play with them. And I think that's a really big piece of the pie. Like, you're not trying to get that hard work and push. I remember in high school, we had football coaches and stuff. They ride you, but at the end of the day, they love you and they want to see you maximize your potential. Well, now in summer basketball, you don't have to maximize my potential because I can go get my ass kissed by somebody else. And I think that's rough when you're trying to build and develop kids.
Yeah.
So why don't they ride it out? They don't ride it out because somebody else tells them. They tell them the proverbial lie what they want to hear.
I would say everybody don't have the same situation, but I would say in high school, you can't, like high school basketball, you can't really leave. But now you can kind of leave and go to different schools. But in high school basketball, you got to stick with that coach. In AAU basketball, you know, most people doing it for free. So we gone.
Yeah, think about this. If you got the chance, if you're seventh man, if somebody calling your seventh man, like Lowe got you on the bench, you can come over here and start for me.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's situation is different. But yeah, like if you the 8th and 7th man and the other team needs somebody in the same circuit or same division that you playing in, you can go start and play all the minutes, get all the shots. And by the way, I ain't gonna curse you out and tell you how bad you are.
That too. You know, and like where I am, you know, I'm up in DC and it's kind of a different situation. But man, these dudes not stealing kids off each other's teams up here like that. They not doing it.
Now that's a great point right there, Jeff. Let me ask you this. That's a great point. And see, that alone right there is something that a lot of parents, especially down in the South here where we at, they don't see. They don't see what it's like. They just compete against the teams, but they don't see what those teams like. Out in PG County and everywhere else where you at, the basketball and sports out there is way different than down here in Houston. A freshman in Houston that's playing varsity will play they'll be telling him that he's got to play 17 and under. Out there, a freshman, and regardless of how good you are, they're gonna have you playing 15 and under. What's the difference in that? Tell us something about that. People need to hear that.
So in Houston, there may be, first of all, like the money in Texas is much bigger, right? Like more people put money into basketball a lot more there than what I can tell, right? Than what I can tell here. And what happens is, like, you got the Catholic League here, you got a pretty good private school league here, and these kids, man, they work. Like, it's kids who I'm looking, it's a little rec center by my house. We go in there 3 or 4 times a week. It's a little boy, super nice, like nice with it. He come to Houston, he's a 17U starter, most teams. That kid ain't good enough to play on these teams up here. He's just not, because the talent level is so much bigger. These kids are fundamentally sound. They've been coached well. They're polished. They make shots. They're strong, athletic. Like, you can tell they genuinely focus at basketball. And you go to a practice up here, you don't have these coaches telling these kids how great they are. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you play for Team Durant in the 8th grade, you're going to play for Team Durant in the 9th grade, the 10th grade, the 11th grade too. You're not about to bounce around like that. That shit just ain't allowed. Dudes don't even mess with other kids, other teams' kids. They just don't. It's disrespectful. So why are the dynamics so different out there where there's quote unquote better basketball country? Because you got the ACC, you got all these different environments out there. Where's the respect come from with that? Why is it not down the same thing down in Texas or wherever we're at? Man, that part, honestly, I really don't have the answer. I'll look into it and try and figure it out, but it's just a man-to-man respect thing. Like, look, if you play for Texas Pro, you play for Texas Pro. I'm leaving that shit alone. I'm not coming to get your kids low for what? Man, that's your guy. Like, that's your guy. I don't know the relationship. I don't know what's going on. I know that's your guy. I'm gonna leave him alone. And if one of your kids want to come play with us, cool. Hey, man, we all can talk. Like, we not going to do that behind each other back shit. We all can talk, and that's the level, the respect level ain't there. Dudes take their kids off the team and sneak and do it. And you look up and a kid on a new team next weekend and they don't say shit. Like, that's allowed. Like, that's allowed in Houston. It ain't allowed nowhere else, man. You don't do that shit.
So let's talk about this, because I saw this from Coach Carter, right? Carter, I know Carter. Yeah. Carter, but Carter said something about LeVar Ball the other day, which and it was nothing not about LeVar, but he made a great point. And Carter says, so LeVar Ball makes his son go play against pros at 16. Y'all reclass your son so he can be 17 playing against 16-year-olds. And y'all say LeVar is the crazy one. Is that something that makes sense, Dre?
Man, I hate it. I tell people all the time I hate that, because if you're going to hold your kid back, you might as well let him play with his original peers instead of go down and play with the kids younger than them, because it's not going to make them better. People that get the most out of it are the kids that are of that grade. Mm-hmm. So, to each his own. All the holdbacks. Some kids may be like, it's a kid in 2021. He's super young. Like, he don't turn 16 until November. He can be held back, but you got kids 17, 18 years old in the 10th grade already. Like, that's scary. And then they got to rush and and reclass them back up just to go to college and stuff?
It depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you want your kid to get a scholarship and they need another year, man, you know what? It may work. If your kid's a pro, he a pro, whether you reclass them up, down, sideways, it don't matter. A pro is a pro, you know. It don't matter. I mean, I tell you what, I think LeVar Ball has genius ideas and poor execution, but his ideas are genius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's brilliant from an idealistic standpoint. No question.
I mean, he doesn't do everything right, but I mean, if I had a dad like that, I'd be happy. So,
right.
I mean, he gonna go to war for you, and I think LaMelo, he on the right track. He didn't go the route everybody is ordained to go. He went and did his own thing, and he on pace to be drafted.
Right. I know you ever seen one of LeVar's workouts?
No, I have not personally. No.
He don't do that Houston shit either, though. By the way, like, he don't do all the cool extra dribbling and shit. He don't do that shit either. Just saying,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. So, skipping topics a little bit, just still bouncing around, going back and forth with this, and Derek Shelby with Drive Nation, he tweeted out something the other day because people started talking about offers. He took his kids up to the UT camp last week. Several of his kids walked away with offers, and somebody said something about him, but he said this. He posted this at Drive Nation 2022. He says, in regards to offers, I make sure that I explain to the player and their parents that it's great to get an offer, but if you're the same player 3 years from now, you will not be good enough to play at this school, and keep working and to keep it in perspective. So is that a good conversation to have?
Hell yeah. Okay, so, and I'll speak on that. I had a pretty good 15U group. I had Jordan and Quinn and all those, Jared Garcia. I had all those kids. They got all those offers as freshmen. They lost them all as sophomores. Then they had to go get them back. It happens, man. Yeah, it happens. Now, thank God it worked out for them. They all managed to bounce back, but they lost them. Yeah, they definitely lost them. No question. It happens. They were great freshmen, and they weren't so great as sophomores, and they were great juniors, and they kind of got the ship back on course.
And I think them kids learned, like, sometimes you got to fail to learn how to succeed.
And you know what? Even with me, like, I'll halfway take the blame. And it was kind of my first time going through it. And, shit, I thought, hey, they good. Like, we can take our feet, we can take our foot off the pedal a little bit, guys. Let's kick this shit into cruise control. We good to go.
No doubt. No doubt.
No.
No, you're right. You're right. So in regards to that situation, tell me this. This I put this out there before, and I'm a stickler to this. I really believe this, and it's not to deter anybody from getting anything or to throw any offers out, because if you can get offers, I'm okay with you getting offers. Whether you can play there or not, that's just an opinion, and it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But two things. Is it too early for a freshman to get an offer from a Power 5 school that hasn't shown that we know he's going to be a Power 5 player? Are we just guessing? And then at the same time, what happens when a Power 5 school gives these kids offers and those kids believe that that's the level that they're going to be at, and all of a sudden now they won't even answer the phone for a mid-major school now? And at the end of the day, what happens if those kids wind up being mid-major players? Are the Power 5 schools or these high major schools messing it up for the mid-majors, and they messing it up for these kids by just putting it out there too early?
I think that depends on the kid.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, like, you had Jace and you had Jared the whole way through, right? You had them the whole way, right?
Right.
When I saw them both in the 9th grade, yeah, those are Power 5 kids. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most especially Jared. I mean, Jesus Christ, like he is who he is, you know. But I think at least in Houston, we just don't have a whole bunch of Power 5 kids anyway. So I don't think our our sample size is all that great for me to give an accurate assessment, but I mean, I'll talk about, like, Trevor lived in my house. I could talk about Trevor. Trevor was below average as a freshman. He was a decent sophomore, and he turned into a top 25 program in the country kid his junior summer, I mean, I would have much rather that than have to deal with him being a high recruit all 3 years. It's hard to manage those kids because they think they made it. They really do. But
and their parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the parents. Because honestly, like, the kids that I had, their parents were great. Like, they were, I mean, Dre, the parents, man, they were hard on them, man. I mean, we had parents, like, cursing kids out, like, hey, come on with it, So I've never really had a bad group of parents, honestly, but I think it's tough to manage the kids. They turn into little assholes once they think, hey, Jeff, back off. Like,
does the parent allow the kid to turn into that? Why would a parent allow their child to turn into something like that?
I mean,
parents ain't on the court. They not in the huddles. I mean, you got some kids, they think they need 20 shots. Like, look, 20 shots ain't get you that offer, bro. 8 shots got you that offer. It is that kind of stuff. The one thing I learned, once those kids got high major offers as freshmen, they all wanted to be the guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody ain't the guy.
True.
It's Tobias Harris just maxed out, and he's option 3 on that team. If you call in the plays, he's option 3, right?
No, he did max out. You did max out. Let's take it to another gear. Let's shift gears on this, right? So Gaines is in the chat room, and he had a comment about reclassing, because we kind of went back and forth on that. He touched real quick on it earlier. We didn't really go into details about it, but he says, I think as a parent, if your kid is super young, reclassifying to get your kid an additional year to develop is okay.
Yeah.
And the end result is not so that he or she can dominate their group, but overall development. What do you think about that as far as reclassifying and getting guys together?
Yeah, I mean, we had a kid on Team Faith who was younger than everybody, and he was a junior. I believe, what is he going, prep school this year, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
He was super young, and he just needs another year. He ended up breaking his hand before the live period, and he didn't get to maximize his opportunity because his hand was still. But he was younger than all the other kids except for Greg, but I mean, he got talent, so he just needs to mature some more his game on the court.
I mean, think about the difference between your body as a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old. Think about the testosterone push. Like, think about the muscle mass, bone density, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a difference. It's a big difference. I look at these kids. They go to college for summer 1. They graduate from high school, go to summer session 1, and they pack on 15 pounds of muscle. You can't put on 15 pounds of muscle at 16. You can at 18, though. I mean, it's just a testosterone thing. So, I mean, I get it if you're young. But if you 18 already,
I look at reclassifying like this, Gaines. I look at reclassifying as if you rather do it late than early.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that, because if you put them back too soon, first of all, you never know if they're going to develop late and grow late. Don't worry about where they are right now. Just make sure that they're learning the fundamentals right now and getting everything that they need, understanding how the game is played, and that definitely that they're at least getting playing time on the court. Reason why, if you take somebody that's in the eighth grade, get ready to go to ninth, and you put them back in the eighth grade again, first of all, you got to understand this. You got to know what the class above them is, and you got to know who the class below them is, because you might be reclassifying your kid into a class that's got super duper talent at that same position. And now you done just put your child in a tough situation, because he's going to get some of the best kids that probably was even better than him in his respective age group in high school, right? And then it's like, you get a chance to, you got a crystal ball in your hand. You get a chance to see everything as it develops. And now when your son is a junior in high school, if they're getting everything that they want, there's no need to do it. Now, after his senior year, going into his senior year, you got a crystal ball, you seeing it, he's getting what he wants, you feel good about it. Okay, you ain't got to reclassify. Now, after his senior year, you see that he's not getting what he wants, guess what? Now you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to reclassify my kid. I'm going to go to a prep school, and guess what? Now I get a chance to earn another opportunity to earn a college scholarship that I didn't get right now. So that's my thing, is like, I've seen too many people that reclassified their kids early, and it just not worked out how they want. They dominated those age divisions while they were young, and then when they got older, it fizzled out because those other kids wound up catching up with them.
Here's a question though, Lowe, really. And this is a question I really don't even have the answer to. Can a college coach not identify talent and say, this kid is a redshirt year away from being what I need him to be? Let me get him and take a red shirt. Do parents not understand that's a real thing? Or I mean, because I know a couple coaches. You know a lot of coaches. They know damn well that kid can play. He just needs a year in the weight room. Quinn's at Louisville right now, taking a year as a red shirt. Mm-hmm. He could have prepped and then played as a freshman, but it's the same thing. Why not take a red shirt year, work with the team, and go ahead and go? If you're not a D1 guy after 12 years of school, that 1 year ain't gonna make you one. Go ahead and go to a D2 school. Go ahead and go to a junior college. Go wherever you're gonna go. It's a lot of kids in Houston that, like, people don't understand. A low major D1 and a D2 is about the same. It really is. I mean, I've seen some D2 schools that'll beat some schools in the SWAC.
Yeah, a lot of them still taking the bus.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to take the bus in the SWAC sometime too. I mean, I'm from Third Ward. TSU got buses.
Sure.
Yeah, they got buses.
I think coaches know. You got a lot of coaches that don't know how to identify talent and don't know how to put the levels out there. Mm-hmm. Because you got guys that are going into being college coaches that was never put through the grind anyway. So they don't really know what they're looking for from start to finish. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, if a coach does communicate with a parent and say, listen, we would like to recruit your child as a red shirt, and we want them to red shirt, if that shows right there that they're willing to invest, they're making an investment in your child. It's a free year of investment. You have no idea what you're learning. First of all, you're getting stronger. You're learning the college system. You're learning basketball. You're adapting to new ways as far as understanding terminology and what the coach wants. So therefore, going into your freshman year as a redshirt freshman, you're ahead of the curve than any other freshman that came in, and you're ready to step right in also. So why people don't like the red shirt? I don't know.
We're going to talk about that master's degree you get too, or we're going to talk about that later?
Oh, we can definitely talk about that. We can talk about that.
That happens too, by the way.
But I think people are scared of that. Oh, I had to sit. I want to play right away.
You ain't going to play right away anyway.
I had a kid that got recruited late text me and say, man, I want to go to a school that I could play right away at. And I said, man, you crazy. because they invested in you for that 1 year, and then you learn and getting stronger. You can't beat that. You trying to play right away and you're not ready. And then what Marcus Sloan always say, you're not gonna have minutes per game gonna be real low, and you're gonna be sad.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to this point right here. I got this from Tony Hobbs. Tony Hobbs had posted this today. I'm gonna share this on the screen. You look at the screen and see if you have access to it. But it says, what's it say? How do you expect to make it to college or the NBA without first perfecting and investing in your craft? You know? So he said, how do you expect to make it to college or the NBA without first perfecting and investing in your craft? Mm-hmm. That's a lot right there, because people refuse to invest in their craft. They refuse to invest in their craft. What does it mean, Dre, to tell somebody, and Jeff, what does it mean for somebody to invest in their craft?
Man, to me, like, if that's really what you want to do, you got to put everything you got into it. You got to sacrifice. Sacrifice is a big part of it. You can't do the things you normally do, especially like in basketball. You gotta have skills. So you can't be on a video game. You got to get up when you don't want to go run, to go lift, to go get up shots, to do your skill work. All of that take time. And if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Like, then it's just a hobby to you.
Here's one thing I know, right? I was watching an interview. You remember Andre Barrett went to Seton Hall and Rice? You remember Andre, right? So Andre Barrett did an interview, and he said when he was playing, he would call guys, the New York guys, the Kenny Andersons, the Mark Jacksons, who came before him, and say, hey, what did you do? How did you get where you going? Like, how did you get where you at? I'm trying to get like you. How you get there? Like, you got the blind leading the blind, and these dudes telling kids how to become college players, how to become pros, and man, they don't fucking know what it takes to be a college player or a pro. You know, they don't know how to get there. So and that's why I value like Juwan being around.
Yep.
What did you do to get to the McDonald's game, Juwan? You top 15 in the country. What did you do? Okay, now tell them. Right? Like when you played at Arizona, I was at the games. Like I know he was there. Like, what did you do at Arizona to get yourself where you went? Like, you played in the D League, went to NBA training camp. What did you do? Okay, now tell them. Because me telling them, well, shit, that ain't the same as you telling them. Like, that's why I think Lucas is important. Like, he was the #1 pick in the draft. Hey, man, go sit your ass down and listen to what that man got to say. Just listen. And when he tells you how to work like that. Work like that. Because you got guys telling you how to work, and, man, you going to end up somewhere you don't want to be because you got the wrong dudes telling you how to work. Listen to the guy that's been where you want to go. Listen to him tell you how to work.
And that point right there makes me bring up another point. Like Chad Ware from Houston Top Guns, right? Chad at Houston Top Guns, right? He made this. He posted this the other day, and it said, "AAU basketball was made to help kids get scholarships. It wasn't made to inflame adults' egos." So, right. Are the egos from the adults is what's keeping the kids from maybe going to a Lucas or going and learning?
Hell yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Like, a lot of kids are missing opportunities to go. They outgrown where they are, but they not going to where they need to be because of an adult's ego.
Yeah, like if I got a team, you got dudes, man, I'm scared to send my kids over there with Marland because I heard he coaching JL3 now, so he gonna try to take my kid. When the truth is, you don't give a damn about that kid. You just might be trying to help the kid. You don't want that kid on your team. You just may be trying to help him. Mm-hmm. How many kids at Lucas every morning, and you like, oh, how you doing? Nice to see you. All right, go about your business. Let's get this work in. You ain't talk to him about playing for you.
Nothing like that. I'm
But a
on
lot of
purpose to get better, and if we see them getting better, then we just encourage them. But it ain't nothing about, hey man, it's no recruiting going on like that.
But people think that. People think that if I send a kid over there with Marland gonna steal my kid. Well, you know what, man? If Marland's sending kids to the pros, if Marland's sending kids to college, and I want my kid to go where Marland sent 10 kids last year and 10 the year before and 10 the year before, well, shit, let me take my son over there.
Right.
Shit,
Right.
I heard them kids that live in Marland House got some game too. Well, shit, can my son come get down with your son? Like that's what, that's what's missing right now. People think, these coaches think Marland gonna steal my kids. Marland gonna put the kid on my players. Yeah, man.
Man, I tell you, it's that's ironic you say that, because that's something that has been me. Shit, I'm almost in the year 22, but that's something that consistently I have to deal with. I'm okay with dealing with it, but it's tough because my purpose in here is always about trying to help kids to get to that next level, to the highest level. My point is always this: I'll let a parent know, a guardian know, or even a coach know for whomever player it is. Like, look, man, we got a stage that can help this young man, your guy.
Mm-hmm.
We got a stage that can help your guy to get where he wants to go. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now listen to this. Let him come play, but know what? You come too. That's your guy.
Right.
You take Ray Forsett when I first started Texas Pro out. Isaiah Austin was committed to Baylor. Anytime a coach called me, guess what? Call Ray. That's his guy.
Right.
I'm not trying to replace you. I'm trying to continue to help enhance, use me in the platform that I have and the knowledge that I have to get you to where you and your guy want to go. Now, along the way, I'm going to kind of help guide you and tell you to watch out for this or that, but it doesn't work like that. They all, many of them think that I'm an adversary. They look at me as an opponent. I'm not your opponent. You know what I mean? I kind of look at it from that perspective, but that happens a lot. Is unfortunate because it's like, look, trust me, I think there's a whole lot more kids that, if given the opportunity, could be more successful, but people hold kids back for their own selfish gain.
I mean, people don't realize that you can network too. Like, nobody took my hand and introduced me to people. I had to introduce myself to people. Just meeting you and Jeff, like, I had to do that on my own. Like, it wasn't nothing like, oh, well, I'm gonna steal your team that you got and
nah, man,
make it play under me. Like, nah, that ain't even what it's about. Like, if you can send them kids to go to a platform where they can be seen and get the exposure that they need, then you should do it. Like, it shouldn't even be a selfish act.
People don't understand how it works. Like, check this out, Lowe. If I come to you and I say, hey, you got a 16U spot, what you doing with that 16U spot? 15U spot. Look, I got 6 kids and a coach. I got a couple dollars to get them where they need to go. Let me get your spot. What you gonna say?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, people think like, oh, well, man, this guy gonna steal my kids. No, man. No, like, you could help your kids by taking them to this platform, and the person that has the platform gets something out of it because he got a good team. Everybody wins.
Right.
Everybody wins. Instead,
I joke with Jakarta about this all the time. I always tell him, man, I got a job. I don't need nothing out of AAU basketball. So if the kid can get something out of it, then I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, but even with that, like, if everybody here, and this is something else, like, you want to know the difference between DC and Houston? It's way too many teams. Like, way too many teams.
Too many teams in Houston.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Elaborate.
Instead of putting, so, like, I'll talk about Chad, my guy, I'll talk about Chad. Chad does a great job with, like, D2, NAIA, low major D1 kids. Does a great job. He places all of his kids every year. Whether people realize it or not, he places each and every one of his kids every year.
And you talking about Chad Ware from Houston Top Gun?
Yes, yes. So him and Ron send those kids to school every year in, year out. But what Chad has done a great job of is he's carved his own lane. He not trying to be JL3. He ain't trying to be the hoops. He ain't trying to be the defenders. He's gotten his lane and he stays there. And he succeeds in his lane, right? You got guys who they're just getting started and they want to get a group of kids and all of a sudden they want to be Texas Pro or they want to be the Houston Hoops. And man, you ain't gonna do it. You don't know how, you don't have the resources, you don't have the contacts to make that shit work. It doesn't work like that. So you're better off going to go work with these guys, learning, and then you may want to stick around. Or you may realize, man, I don't want to do this shit at all. But you got too many guys that say, hey, man, you know what? I got 4 kids. Let me start a team and let me try to get some kids to college and figure this shit out. And you're experimenting with people's children and they look up, you know, you got 7 unsigned seniors that you've had for 5 years in a row because you don't want to let the kids go. And I can name 5 programs. I mean, that's disrespectful, but we know them. You know, it's kids that people should have let go years ago, but they just won't let them go.
Facts. And but dude, you know what? I'll say this. I've told parents this. Sometimes the wrong people are so close to you that they keep the right people from getting near to you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And a lot of times you try to throw things out to a person and be like, listen, come check us out or come talk to us. And they're like, well, no, this is what he said. And I'm listening to him. I hear this. And my thing is always about the same thing. Do your research. And if my, you know, if I allow my ego to talk for a second, I sit back and I don't throw stuff out there, but I'll say it in a minute. Like, look, if you don't do your research, if I'm talking to you and you don't do your research on me,
right.
Like, what are you really in this for? That's what I'm thinking about. Like, if you're not listening to what I have to say and not don't go back and check the record that I have, as far as not just helping kids in my program, but helping kids in other programs also, I'm good with wherever you listen to, because that means you're running on blind faith. You know what I'm saying? You running just on, you the one that's gonna get picked up in the club by the dude that they got nothing good for you. You know what I'm saying?
My question to parents is, who you playing for? Okay, who did that dude put in college?
Yep.
Right? You want your kid to go to college. Who has your guy put into college? Okay, now let me tell you who I've helped. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've helped dudes get to college year in and year out, and your guy hasn't helped anybody get into college, why are you messing with this dude? Like, what's?
He's a good guy. I like his training.
Cool. Go to the barbecues, invite him to the graduation party. Y'all go have drinks, but that don't mean you trust him with your child's future. Hell no.
But he's showing my kid good things. His training is really good.
No, it ain't. Because if his training was real good, he'd have got those kids to college.
Yeah.
Those previous kids. I hear you, but that's what they put out there. But also you got other groups that might come out and say, listen, we got this many people in college ourselves. We got this many people in college. These guys went to college. But people just fail to research. My thing is, you know, again, I don't like people. I ain't gonna say I don't like it. It is disturbing to me when people don't read and when they don't research. And you ain't gonna research nothing if you don't care to read. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or ask questions. You should ask questions, even if you're not gonna ask questions. What's that, Dre?
You said you on year 22. Jeff tell me all the time, and I know this to be a fact. Most people at the high level, you kind of got a 5-year window, because it takes a lot of time to do what we do, right? You on year 22. You were coaching when I was 10. So
thanks, Dre.
So when people like don't do their research, like you saying, like it kind of like you kind of look at it funny, like, bro, I remember the name of the team and everything that you were coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Went through the hoops. You got your own program. not JL3. Like you did it all. So for people to not like, and it's just not you, it's other people too. So if you afraid to go get that from them, then you set yourself up for failure, especially when you're a kid and you only get one shot.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like this. You should start at the top. Like you should, hey, Lowe on my kid, cool. Let me see what Lowe talking about. You know, the hoops on my kid, you know, Aaron on my kid. Let's go see what them dudes talking about, man. And I would go there first if my kid had interest from those caliber guys, and then I would work my way back down. Because if Aaron and Shu and Lowe got history of putting kids in the pros, high major, mid major, whatever, and they want my kid, well, maybe my kid can be one of them too.
But
And
you
then,
also
if y'all don't want my kid, it's like, well, shit, Chad, you like him? I mean, you know, goddamn, can we get something? Like, where is he? Or do we need to go play lacrosse? I mean, what's up? Like, is this not for us? I mean, we gotta figure something out. But I'm not, and it's just me, I'm not gonna sit here and listen to somebody tell me, oh, well, you know, we're friends. Let my kid play for, you know, let your kid play for me. Man, hell no. If we friends, you gonna let them go.
Yeah. You also have the AAU coach. Well, all right, you built your bond with the kid parent and the kid, and you tell the kid, man, you don't need that program because I can give you the same exposure. So that's a fight in itself.
Speaking of exposure, so Miss Poised, she blessed for real, right? She was talking about on Twitter.
Shawan, yeah.
How about she told T Hicks, she was talking to T Hicks, and she said, you're correct about the other stats that no one talks about. I'm at the games and I'm watching. So I'll be like, what? Say, I was there and I didn't see all that, but I did see the kids score 10 points and miss several people on passes and things like that. What is it about stats? What is it about stats that draws people attention? You know what I mean? Why are so people enamored by stats when they don't realize you just can't look at stats. You got to see the game yourself because yeah, this guy had 24 points, but you don't realize that 16 of them came out on leak out layups.
Right.
You know,
right.
And then you don't realize he had 24 or you had 24 points. And guess what? They won by 50. Okay. Right. Or another time, yeah, he had 18 and 14 rebounds. But guess what? You don't realize that he went 0 for 9 from the free throw, or he was 4 for 4 from the free throw line, but then in crunch time, he was 0 for 5.
Right.
So that just looks like he was just 4 from 9 from the free throw line, but you don't get a chance to see that he made his first free throws, but when it came down to crunch time, he can't play in the crunch. So what is it about stats that just makes people just enamored with them and don't really know how to read them the right way?
I mean, people need a box score, right? Yeah. Like, I think you need a whole box score because what you said doesn't show up on Twitter, right? Like people.
Yeah, they just take a picture of the kid with 24 points.
Yeah. So look at it like this. I mean, we all remember Jason Kidd, right? Jason Kidd would dominate a game with 8 points, right? Pull up. This is funny. Pull up TJ Ford's senior year of high school stats. I'll help you out. I doubt he averaged double-figure points. I doubt it. And TJ was amazing in high school, flat out amazing. And he didn't score 10 points a game. So to say scoring is everything, nah.
I had a great talk with Daniel Ewing the other day. We were at the University of Texas, just sitting back talking to him, right? And one thing that he noted, we sit back watching the game, and I thought it was just incredible. We're going back to the fundamentals right now, but I'm going to go back to what he said. He bounced back and forth on something that he talked about. But he was watching the kid play, and he said, man, the kid can actually play. He said, man, I'm going to tell you what, it's a huge difference between this kid playing and what I saw earlier. He said, because I saw all of these kids earlier doing stations and drills, and it was awful. He said, man, I was like, what is going on in basketball? He said, but I'm glad I stuck around so I could see what this kid do. So now it lets me know that he can play and he competes. He just ain't got no skill work. But with that being said, is he said the same thing is like on another point is the fact that he said, man, these kids are, what is going on? Why are they playing at so many different levels? Who's pampering these kids like that? And why are they not playing? Why are they playing at this level when they should be playing here? And why is this kid at this level when he should be really playing there? And he kind of went back and said, he said, Lowe, when we came out, we were good enough to play against the best kids in the country, you know, and we were young. Goes back to your point again, Dre. Jeff, I said, guess what? It was less teams back then.
Yeah.
So it was a whole lot easier to pick out the elite players had to play on a specific team. Now, the elite players aren't playing on specific teams. They're on watered down mom and pop teams because a guy is trying to control them instead of giving access to them. So it was a whole lot said in that right there. But I just thought that was interesting that Daniel made those points.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, when Dan was playing, what was it, 3 teams?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we go back to 3 circuit teams, I promise you, we do a whole lot better.
Man, I remember in my era, what was it, Low? The hoops, the select, and if you want to say the swoosh, but that was about it. And you can't even say the swoosh because they weren't even sponsored.
No, they weren't. They were by Peter Curry, and it was the hoops, the superstars, the Houston Lynx with Dr. Shooting them. West Side All Stars was Reebok.
Yep.
And Houston Elite.
And Houston Elite. It was basically 5 teams that kind of just swooshed. I mean, and the swoosh might have been 6, but it was basically 6 teams that you played for.
But
basically 3 teams, and those other ones were just trying to really make their way through.
But you didn't have all these east side such and such, the south side such and such, or the north side such and such either. You got 85 teams fighting for practice spots at one high school.
Yeah. That's another story too. That's another story too. It's just, you know, it's a lot that goes on. It's a lot that goes into this. Obviously, everything can't just be covered in one night because we skipping around it because it's no breakdown and we don't have any question and answers and things of that nature. But it's it can be said if I had to point the finger at somebody, which I always say, I don't like anybody pointing the finger at kids first. Kids gonna make mistakes, and it's gonna be times for you to point them at the kids. But for the most part, it's always the adult that's leading or misleading the child. And what can we do to kind of help people to start being to maybe lead the child in the right direction? What can we do with that from that perspective?
I mean, I think also at all times you got to know who's coaching your kid, and are they invested into the team, not just your kid, but the team, as opposed to, you know, just doing it just because that happens a lot too. And then I think, to me, one of the biggest factors is when you do your research, like what we talked about earlier, we just got to make sure, like, hey, if 5 shoe teams are pulling you left and right, there got to be some validity to that. It just can't be like, well, I'm gonna stay with the North Side hoo-haws because he like my son better than everybody. Well, if you got the defenders, the hoops, Harden, JL3 pulling from you, then that means there's something up with that. You just can't just stay at that bottom level. You know, you got to go up. You wouldn't want your kid to go to a community college and he got Yale calling.
Oh, no doubt. What you think, Jeff? What's some remedies to this? What's some solutions? Bearing in mind that we're gonna be talking to adults right here, and adults they can still do their own thing. But if you had a chance to give them some advice or talk to them about it, in particular, maybe take this perspective right now. Mm-hmm. Say that you're talking to some summer coaches that probably shouldn't be coaching, or should hold on to some kids that shouldn't be holding on. What's your communication with them? What would be a perspective that you can probably just share with them to help them?
What I would say to a lot of these guys, honestly, is stop trying to do your own program. Go with somebody that's got some experience, pay your dues, learn the game, figure out how shit works, and then go start your own program. All right, that's number one. Number two, if you're gonna be in charge of these kids' skills development, these kids' coaching, learn what college coaches want to see. Learn what is gonna help them get recruited. Because you got guys running systems and shit that, man, no coach wants to see that. They don't want to see that shit. They just don't.
High school coaches too.
Nah, in high school you gotta win games. Like I get that. Like you can people hard on them kids at Yates. I'm gonna tell you something. Yates go to state every year, so you can't say shit about G. Nothing. Nothing. You can't say shit because he will get you to state every year. And you know what? Does that Preston help those kids in college? Some say no. I say yes. They mentally tough. They in great shape and they play defense. So you know what? It helps them. So, and that's the example that I know you thinking about, but it helps them. But back to these college coaches, I mean, these summer coaches, man, go pay your dues. Go spend the summer with Lowe. Go spend the summer with Aaron. Go spend the summer with Schumacher. Go spend the summer and learn how this shit works, man. And then you'll have a much bigger appreciation for what you got going on. And more importantly, you'll know what a player is. You'll know what a good team is. A lot of these dudes, that's another problem in Houston. They don't know what the hell a player is.
I never forget, Low. I hit Jeff on the side. Where were we at? The first live event in Atlanta last year. I said, yeah, these dudes different.
Yeah.
We on the 17U bench. I said, woo, it's smoking good.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't have anything or anyone to compare something to. So they think because many times they think because they do things locally here, or because somebody else says they're this, that they think that that's what it is in the nation. Don't realize, like, look, we're talking about the globe, the world.
Okay, but Lowe, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
The number one player in the city of Houston is ranked where in the country?
Oh, you talking about LJ?
I think they got Tremont ahead of LJ now, right?
Probably so. I don't know. I hadn't even looked at that lately.
Top 60, in between 60 and 80, right?
All right. So come to DC, right? I'm willing to bet DC got 7 kids in the top 60. 7. So, like, they do a high school showcase over at DeMatha every year. Courtney was up here for it.
Oh, Courtney Brooks?
Yeah, it was smoking in there. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Montverde came up and IMG and Sunrise and DeMatha, and you sitting there, you like, hey, man, you go back to Houston and watch the Christmas tournament, and then you watch this shit, you like, it's not the same. These kids ain't the same. They're not the same, man. They're not.
Right. No. Courtney talks about it, man. Courtney talks about that event that he came out there, and man, he loves it. He loved it, and he talks about the difference between Houston and basketball on the East Coast out there in the DMV, man. And he just said it's night and day, and these parents need to see it in order to have a reality check.
Yeah, you think little Johnny got some game, huh? Okay, well look, it's an open run over in DeMatha. Shit, go ahead. Take your ass up there and see if your little Johnny got some game. Watch what happens. DeMatha JV would smack most Houston varsity teams. Beat the piss out of them. The JV team.
The work ethic is way different. I asked this question a while back ago. What's the difference between our kids? What are we missing? And it took me back to when I got the privilege to go to Spain. I watched Mexico's junior national team warm up, and their coach didn't come in the gym for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
our kids to go shoot floaters off the backboard, between the legs, behind the back, 3-pointer. They kids stretched for 15 minutes, did all the layup lines they were supposed to do, then the coach came. Their mindset different.
Right. Once again, for everybody that's listening, man, looking in, man, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Tap that thumbs up button, man. Kind of help us expand the base, man. And hit share it with your followers, man. Anybody that you got on social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or whatever, man. Hit share for us, but definitely give us a thumbs up, man. We're just trying to continue to grow the platform and give some people, give all of us something to talk about, because we all need this. We all need these conversations. It's going to help us to continue to build. We're in a situation right now, whereas kids need help. Kids need help, and we need to continue to help build together. We need to pick up something from the people on the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West Coast, and even some of those places need to probably pick up something from us as well. But look, it's all about building. It's all about building. I know that. Listen, I tell you again, and I don't want to, I'll touch on Courtney again, man, but no. Even Kevin Woods back in the days. Kevin Woods used to ask me about, it used to be about five years ago. He was like, Lowe, we finna play this team from Milwaukee, and what you think about them? I said, listen here, man, they're gonna be pretty damn good. They got they're gonna have some fundamentals, and they're gonna be like, what you mean? I said, it might not be big, man, so make sure you get them guys ready to play, because they gonna know how to play. Big difference. Yeah. And bottom line is, afterwards, he said, Lowe, we was way bigger than them. He said, they beat us. He said, I don't know how. He said, but man, they knew how to pivot. They knew how, they was jab faking. They was shot faking. They knew how to, fake out. It was just basic fundamentals. I say, that's what it is. They beat you on basic fundamentals, because, sometimes just fundamentals Texas kids, they try to get you a lot of times because you can run fast and jump high, and they don't get taught the fundamentals, but that's what it is. But man, look, let's we start to wrap this up. I'm gonna let y'all give some closing remarks, man, because we're gonna have to continue to talk about this some more dialogue. I don't know what the topic could be tomorrow, or who we're gonna have get up in this thing. But as always, like I said, I even dropped some links in there tonight. Nobody chose to tap on the link so they can come inside into the booth and kind of challenge our perspectives or even share some thoughts. But that's what this is about. We'll continue to do this and bring the dialogue. But in closing, for me, I just think that, matter of fact, I want to close. I close out last. Dre, what do you think, just as you're ready to close out on maybe the state of basketball in general, some things that you like, some things that you like to see, some things that you don't like to see, or just your overall collective thoughts on the game in general?
I just think we should, like everybody just get better, continue to get better. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Everybody remember what they are in the game for one. And then also, just keep working hard. That's it. Absolutely.
By the way, I told Chad Ware earlier that I was going to drop this link. He's been talking about trying to get into the booth for a long time. I told him I was going to drop this link. Chad didn't pop that link off. Come on, Chad. Been talking about you trying to get into the booth, man, and shoot. We had a chance for you to come in tonight, man. You ain't do nothing. You ain't hit that link. You got a little nervous, huh?
Chad ass is in North Carolina flying Frontier. He probably had a damn layover in Zimbabwe. He'll be back next Tuesday. Ain't no telling what Chad gonna do.
He's still on the plane, Lowe.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot different when you see people talking on this video in front of you, man, to be like, look, come on up in here and join us. Let's talk about this. People don't want to put themselves out there like that. They don't want to share their comments. They don't want to, but they'll be quick to get on that Twitter keyboard tomorrow and start talking about this or that, anything else. But it's all good. Jeff, what you got in closing? What you say?
Man, I hope, people kind of drop the ego, the adults in the equation, especially the AAU guys, kind of drop the ego, learn how shit works, because we all had to. I know I did. And parents, don't let these dudes kiss your ass, because they'll tell you anything, and your kid, the one that's going to suffer. Ask for help, get informed help, work with guys that got a history of helping kids get where you want your kid to go. And man, you got a fighting chance if you do that. If you don't, it's not gonna go your way.
No,
that's my advice.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hold on a second. Gaines said Chad didn't have a cut, so he didn't want to get on the camera. He been traveling, huh? He been traveling. So, but no, we're going to have to get some more guys in here. Carter, some of the rest of these guys in here, man. Even Ray Meach and some more, even and Courtney Brooks, and just share some things. Because Courtney been traveling all over the country, man.
Courtney been doing a good job. He been on the road, man. Yeah, that's good.
He was at the NBA Top 100. He was at the Nike Elite 100. He was at Pangos, you know.
Right.
He's got a different perspective that a lot of these parents and different people, even summer coaches, don't see. So he's been kind of growing his own brand and kind of putting it out there. So we got to get guys up inside the booth, man, so we can share and give different perspectives again. But in closing for me, man, I want to thank y'all for taking the time to share your experiences and share your thoughts and
hold on. Shantae say she ain't scared. Let her get on there.
Nah, she in timeout, man. You gotta take her phone. She can't.
When Shantae said that?
Nah, she not invited, man. She not.
When she said that, Dre?
Oh, she just tweeted me.
Yeah, tell Shantae, make sure she hit a thumbs up, Shantae. but no, you know what? And you know what? It's interesting that you say that. I saw Kuz play up at the UT camp too, man. Those guys have been together for a long time.
Right.
PJ been doing this for a good couple years, and the family, you know, Prince Kuz now.
Yeah. Best family ever, man.
Years on end. And he's been phenomenal to me, man. He's kind of taught me a lot of things throughout the years, man. When I used to have questions about things outside of basketball, but much respect to that family. And but my thing is on a basketball perspective, it's like obviously I agree with you, Jeff. Wholeheartedly, I would think there's too many teams.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see kids if you have less teams, kids gonna get cut. And sometimes when you get cut, you need to have a little fire lit up inside of you to help you to understand whether this is for you or not.
Right.
When you have a certain amount of teams, a less amount of teams, you're able to help more collectively. I believe that you help more collectively from a standpoint as far as camps and trying to get kids in the right place at the right time, and they'll be able to play at a high level. Now that doesn't mean that the rest of these teams shouldn't be there. But at the same time, there should be a collective effort for if somebody says that they're in this to help the kids, then you should be able to understand, look, if this platform is better to help elevate that kid, then you should be willing to put that kid on that platform because he's still your guy. But like I said, I tell people all the time, man, that's your dude, man. You brought him over here, that's your man. I'm going to coach him. I'm going to help where I can. But when people call, they're going to call you. I don't need to be involved in that because guess what? When I need your help again later on, I don't need you to sit back and say Marland did this or Marland did that. So I'm going to keep it a buck, you know?
Right.
And make sure that as you continue to go up, you're going to still be involved. And if the relationship break up or mess up, it ain't going to be because of me. It's going to probably because you chose to take something on the front end and mess your stuff up instead of being patient, helping them get where they want to get and take it on the back end. But I appreciate y'all again, man. We're gonna get back into this booth sometime again, man, and share your thoughts, concerns. Jeff, you out there on the East Coast, man. It's 11:25 out there. Dre, with your Brooklyn hat on, man. Listen, Jared Allen, them they just got KD. Man, that's gonna be dope out there, man. I'm gonna have to go check. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I've told my partners this before. All the dudes that I got that's playing in the league for me, man, whether they in the league, the G League, overseas, and anywhere else, I've never saw any of them play a professional game.
Really?
Not one. Tell you what, I went to watch I went to the Rockets and the Warriors game the game 4 here, right? When they went overtime, I think. But I was going to watch House, and that game, he wound up not playing, man. He had him in the back. He had that little something with his foot, so they had him. So he wound up playing. That would have been the first time I watched any of my guys play a professional game, man. I've never seen any of them play a professional game. Was Isaiah Taylor and any of those guys. I just sit back and say, listen, man, I know you. I don't.
I need my 2 tickets. Give me my 2 tickets.
I just, but again, to me, like I said, if it's about the kids, do what's best for them. To me, it's about helping them to continue to elevate. I'm so happy that House got a great opportunity for himself. We talked before when he was making that decision about betting on himself. A lot of people called him stupid, said he should have did this and did that. But hey, at the end of the day, he doing good for him and his family.
Yeah, buddy.
That's enough said right there. But look, Jeff Mitchell, Dre McDonald, I'm Marland Lowe. We appreciate y'all for joining us inside the booth. Until next time, we catch up. Y'all enjoy your evening. Appreciate it, fellas.
All right, take care. Anytime, man.
Already.
Thank you.
Yep.